everyone. Very good morning to all of you. I hope you're doing well and welcome to our first session in April. It's been so long that we haven't had a session together. I am so pleased. I can't tell you. Finally, we are back with our Hindu and with you guys. So guys, thank you so much for joining in. जितने लोग join कर लिए हैं, love you, love you, love you, love you. Dishani, Archit, Shruti, Satun, Siddharth, Preeti. Good morning, you guys. Thank you for joining in. Remember to use Abhi Live to subscribe to Unacademy and to play and buy your subscription and get a 10% off. Here are our announcements. So very quickly, Achievers Batch for CAT 2022 started on 30th of March. Target batch for CAT 22 also started on 30th of March. We've got 2 batches. Price increase has already happened, guys. Wow. Price increase has already happened. Okay. The Maset course is also available. The last date for subscription in 5,000 rupee fees was 31st of March. Plus subscription for MBA aspirants, guys, is still available. So if you're planning to take up your subscription, these are wonderful plans. You know, you can take it on EMI. You can, for a 2-year course, you only end up paying 1,367 rupees. Or for a 1-year course, you end up only paying 1,879, which is like hugely discounted, guys. Two pizzas and you've got a 2-year course, 3 pizzas and you've got a 3-year course. So that's actually as cheap. And if you take Abhi Live, which you should, you will also get a 10% off on top of this also. So that's like super wonderful. Okay? Also, our iconic subscription is available, जिसमें all the benefits of Plus, as well as, you know, one-to-one live mentorship, one-to-one live doubt solving, one-to-one live concept discussion is also happening. So on top of all of that, you get this also free. So amazing hai ekdam. So do think of buying your subscription like this, guys. The CAT Unacademy Ask a Doubt feature is available, guys, and it is available now on the website also as well as the app. Now, what's new? So you can ask up to 3 doubts at a go. You can get solutions in your preferred language and you can request a review for your solution also. So all of this is happening, guys. As well, you can simply click, crop and submit your doubts. So what are you waiting for? Jaldi jao, doubts पूछ के आओ. मतलब अभी मत पूछना, पूछ लेना. All right, let's get started with our article for the day. Here we are. These are some of the words from the article. AEON Essays, here we go. So rowdy, of course, is rough. Gunda, Mawali, that's what we are saying. Someone is a rowdy. He's someone who enjoys fighting, this, that, and such like. Coalition, of course, is a group of like-minded people who have gotten together for a purpose. So that's a coalition. Pillage, of course, means plunder. Looting, जिसे हम कहते हैं, उसे pillage कहते हैं. Number 4, enticing, very inviting, very something that causes you to get into it is enticing. The dinner appears to be very enticing. जाने का मन कर रहा है खाना खाने के लिए. Sadism, of course, is inflicting pain on others. That's sadism. Privations, of course, are hardships. Difficulties in leading a normal life are privations. Okay. So these are 6 words, guys. We've got another 6 in the offing also. So here you are. Shoddy, of course, means shabby. कोई काम बहुत shoddily करना मतलब बहुत shabbily करना, अच्छे से नहीं करना. Putrid, of course, is stinking. तो ये चीज़ बहुत ही putrid है, smell कर रही है, foul smell कर रही है. That's called putrid. Perpetrated means to cause. So this has been perpetrated by such and such people. So has been caused by such and such people. Progeny, of course, we understand is offspring or children. The 2 roots, pro, which means for or forward, and gen, which means birth or creation. So together, birth of the next generation, that's progeny. Predicament, of course, is a problem, pareshani, samasya, taklif. So anything that is causing you a difficulty, that's your predicament. Material. Now, guys, there are 2 different spellings for material. One is M-A-T-E-R-I-A-L, which is your regular spelling for material, which means things. And then there is the spelling with the I-E, material. This material is essentially referring to military equipment. So when you're thinking of military equipment, you're thinking of material with an E. When you're thinking of any other material, then you're thinking of material with an I. So ये बड़ा अच्छा सा common confusable भी है बच्चों कि material कौन सा वाला है, तो AL वाला है, तो ये सामान है या important है ना. His evidence was material to the crime. So crucial कह सकते हैं, that's one. And the other is things. While this material of course is simply military equipment, guns, army का ammunition, जो कुछ भी होता है, military equipment is called material with an E. Alright, I hope you've got these words. If you haven't clicked a picture, go back, click a picture. And write this down in your notebooks, guys. वो जो vocab notebooks बनवाई हैं, उनका यही काम है. उनमें ये सारे words लिखो, 2 synonyms लिखो, 2 antonyms लिखो. Write down a sentence. I generally tell you a sentence, so you can write that down or you can create your own sentences. And that's how you will work on your vocabulary, guys. All right, let's get started with this very interesting article on Afghanistan and why the Taliban won the Afghanistan. Why did they win? So some portion of that based on corruption. Let's talk a little bit about it. The Midas disease. So Midas, of course, you know, was that king जो कुछ भी छूता था, that would become gold. यहाँ पे जो कुछ भी छूते हैं सब corrupt हो जाता है. Anyway, so in Corruption and the Decline of Rome 1988, to offer a final example, Ramsay Macmillan devotes a chapter to the system that would become Pope Leo X's default 1,000 years later. Power for sale. So in this, Ramsay Macmillan has offered you many examples. One of those, the final example, says that he has given you an example of power for sale. That means you can buy power for yourself. Assessing its impact on the fortunes of Rome, Macmillan wonders how it was possible for a rowdy, materially and technologically inferior coalition of untutored tribesmen so quickly and effortlessly to gain control of Germany, Gaul and Spain. So he wonders, how is it that these people who are not, they were roughnecks, they were rowdies, they didn't have weapons, they didn't have skill, they were untutored. How did they suddenly and so quickly gain control of Germany, Gaul and Spain, these 3 big regions which were really very powerful? The question mirrors the general astonishment when last summer, gangs of shaggy-haired fighters mounted on motorcycles overran Afghanistan in a matter of days. So the same thing happened last year when the Taliban overtook the Afghanistan. Okay, so that was the same surprise happened. That, oh, how did these uneducated, uncouth, unmilitarized people just take over the country? So there was that element of surprise. In both cases, a fatal impact of power for sale was the dash of the defense forces. So power for sale had a very fatal impact. Fatal means deadly, killing, right? And that was what happened to the defense forces in Afghanistan also. Why were they not able to defend the country? Probably because of that. The size of Rome's armies was contemptible. Contemptible means you could scorn at them, you could laugh at them. Itni choti si thi. Writes Macmillan. And the disgruntled, ill-equipped soldiers who remained on the front did not stand and fight. So jitne bhi soldiers the, they were unhappy, they were angry, they were disgruntled, they were ill-equipped. So one, they were angry, 2, they didn't have the equipment, right? Who remained on the front, they did not stand and fight. Why? Let's find out. We are told of a field of battle, a district and an entire province simply abandoned. तो हमें बताया गया है कि एक पूरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट, एक पूरी फील्ड ऑफ बैटल लोगों ने छोड़ दी, सोल्जर्स लड़े ही नहीं. ऐसा क्यों हुआ होगा? Just what happened in Afghanistan in August 2021? Exactly the same thing happened in Afghanistan. The soldiers just did not fight. Why? For corrupt elites, for the rich people, defense budget represents an enticing opportunity for pillage. तो जो डिफेंस का बजट होता है, that's a good place to start looting. Okay, citizens rarely question investments they think will protect them, and the details of expenditures are usually classified. So because defense expenditure is not revealed to the public, people don't know it, and when they think that, hey, these many soldiers are being hired, these many guns are being bought, People feel happy that, oh, we are going to be secure. But here is where the pillage is happening. लूट रहे हैं आपको. A common technique is for officers to pad the payroll with what the Guardian in 2016 identified as fake names or dead men, and then pocket the excess salaries. So what do the officers do? They hire fake soldiers. So अगर आपके पास 100 soldiers हैं तो 200 की आप salary ले रहे होते हैं, वो 100 की salary आप कमा रहे होते हैं, right? That's the corruption part of it. So people think that there are 200 people employed here, but actually 100. And the money has been siphoned off to one officer, one set of officers, the entire defense ministry. That's how districts end up ill-defended by units of contemptible sizes. So that is how these cities did not have enough soldiers, because soldiers थे ही नहीं. 50 लोगों को हायर किया, 500 लोग दिखा रहे थे, तो हमें लग रहा है 500 लोग हमें डिफेंड करेंगे, थे ही नहीं, 50 ही थे. So that was how it was. Or why not loot the equipment budget? So that's one more thing. Guns मंगाने की जगह पैसे खुद ले लो. By failing to buy material for which funds have been allocated. So you've been given funds to buy a certain amount of material, like I said, military equipment, and you're not buying it. You're keeping the money for yourself, siphoning the money, feathering your own nest. That's the idiom. Or by selling supplies, including to the enemy, or by purchasing shoddy alternative to reliable food, shelter, and weaponry that those who put their lives on the line for their community deserve. So one, don't hire dead people. That was one. 2, you do not buy equipment. 3, whatever supplies have come, you sell them. 4, you do not give the soldiers good food, good living, good equipment. And they deserve that. That's how soldiers run out of ammunition in the middle of a firefight with raggedy foes. And that's how exactly soldiers did not have ammunition at all. Because the ammunition had already been sold off to some random people, or it hadn't been bought at all. Sums of money, weapons, and weatherproof tents can be counted. They help quantify corruption's toll. So you can count all this and see how many were actually there as against how many were promised. But to think only in numbers is to overlook the greater harm and the real danger. So if you're just thinking of things, no, don't think of them. The actual harm, the actual problem is the moral injury corruption inflicts. And there is a moral injury that corruption is causing. The soldier who's out there fighting a war for you, why should he fight your war if you're not even willing to give him proper equipment? If you cannot equip him with shoes, if you cannot equip him with guns, if you cannot give him ammunition, why should he fight this war? He is putting his life on the risk, but you're not even giving him necessary equipment. So why should he fight this war? Exactly what happened in Afghanistan. How do you suppose Roman or Afghan soldiers felt in their scattered handful, stomachs empty because of the stench of their putrid breakfast as they offered themselves up on behalf of their ruling authorities? Why? How would they feel? They didn't have good food. They were not getting proper breakfast, stinky breakfast. They're not getting equipment. How would they feel? What sensations scalded their flesh as they realized that their provisions were perpetrated by the representatives of those very authorities, by superiors they longed to admire? Can you imagine the pain, the shame? So imagine these soldiers, they know that all their hardship was not caused because there was lack of money, was caused because people were being corrupt and they were stealing money from what should have gone to the soldiers. How ashamed they must have been to see that their superiors were stealing the money. Imagine their pain, imagine their shame. And when the soldiers put their minds to their predicament, of course, now they understand, भाई बंदूक नहीं है, गोली नहीं है, खाना नहीं है, और हम लड़ किसके लिए रहे हैं? They understand that. What if the only purpose they could find in this sadism was the accumulation of more gold or dollars than the supposed superior or their progeny could ever spend? So उन्हें भी तो बुद्धि है ना, they would have understood that this is more about earning money rather than anything else, and that the superiors want more money and more money. Why would a soldier fight them? Very interesting article, guys. You can read the rest of it. The Midas disease on AEON Essays today. Wonderful article. And exactly the truth. What is the purpose of the passage? To define the concept of corruption, to introduce the idea of corruption causing defeat in battles, to compare and contrast of views of soldiers with those of civilians, to applaud the citizens of Afghanistan. Come on, guys, let's take a look. Good morning, my boys and girls. Aman, Sharanya, Preeti, Siddharth, Satun, Shruti, Archit, Dishani. It's so wonderful to have you guys. I tell you. Nikita, Rohit, Anjali, Harsh, Sandhya Rani, Swayashi. Raggedy मतलब फटे वटे कपड़े पहने हुए. Rags में. Rags are what? Torn clothing. The Taliban didn't have a lot of money. What they had was will to take over the country. They came on these bikes wearing torn clothes, and yet they took over all of Afghanistan. And why did the government, an installed government that had been installed by the US, why was it not able to defend itself? Why did these cities fall? Good morning, Sneha. Morning, Naveen. Yes, it is lovely to be back. 30th was the last session. Today is the 4th. 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. You can't imagine how unhappy I was these 4 days. Life is very sad without you guys in it, and without my Hindu session, Hindu AEON RC session in it. All right, so correct answer, yes. To applaud the citizens of Afghanistan, no. To compare and contrast, no, we were not comparing and contrast. To define the concept, no, but this passage did not really, this part of the passage did not really define the concept of corruption. Yes, we introduced the idea that corruption is causing defeat in battles, and that's the correct answer. Absolutely, guys. Very good. I did see a lot of B's here. Rohit gave me my first B, and Samishta gave me my last B, and everybody else had a B. So wonderful. Each of these is suggested in the passage except, so suggested means something that is that you can infer from the passage. So here you are looking for what cannot be inferred from the passage. So what is mentioned or what is absolutely wrong in the context of the passage. Let's take a minute. So author mentions several examples of corruption in Rome. No one expected the Taliban to win Afghanistan. Soldiers need to be inspired and willing to fight a war. And defense budget is a great place for corruption. All right, so the author has mentioned that the passage says that there were several examples, this being the final example. So this is something that I can infer, so cannot be my answer. No one expected the Taliban to win. Yes, these raggedy people, nobody expected to win, so inferred cannot be my answer. Soldiers need to be inspired and willing to fight a war. Yes, if they are uninspired, if they are unwilling, you're going to be losing that war. That also we could have inferred from the passage. So defense budget is a great place for corruption. That was very clearly mentioned in the passage. So this was my mentioned fact, and therefore this is my correct answer. D. Yes, I can see some D's, a lot of C's here, but just a couple, just one D from Shruti. All right, guys, no worries. This was a slightly different question, so hey. All right, the next one. Which of the following can be the tone of the author in the passage? You're looking for the tone of the author in the passage. Was he being opinionated, ironic, rhetorical, or factual? Which of these is the correct answer? I hope all of you have liked the session, guys. You are so wonderful for joining in today. Thank you. And by the way, let me just tell you that we are going to be doing, in our free session at noon, we are going to be doing vocabulary and GK on alternate days. So today, of course, we are doing vocabulary. Tomorrow will be GK. So do make sure you're joining in every day at noon for our special sessions. Also, there's one more free session that is happening Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. That's my open house. So today we shall be discussing one more examination. And there is one more special session at 8 p.m. Guys, the 8 p.m. batch will be launched tomorrow, and therefore the intermediate VRC batch, and therefore please wait for a day. Okay, so today I am going to host another special session at 8 p.m. This one will be which exams should you be applying to. Okay, all right, what is the tone of the author? Let's take a look. Yes, yes, yes. बिल्कुल लग रहा है, नहीं बिल्कुल है. आयरनी नहीं है यहाँ पे, अनफॉर्चुनेटली रेटोरिकल भी नहीं है और फैक्चुअल भी नहीं है. Yes, the writer is very heavy on his opinion. He is telling you, he's finding the relationship between corruption and the loss of battles, and that is purely his opinion. So yes, very opinionated. All right, here we are. Fill in the blank with the best word here. In both cases, a fatal impact of power for sale was the dash of defense forces. Was it the living? Was it the invigorating? Was it the hollowing out? Was it weaning? क्या हुआ defense forces को? All those of you who have joined us now, please remember to hit the like button. And remember to come in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. bright and shiny. We have restarted our Hindu sessions with full zeal, energy and passion. Yes, because power for sale would have had a fatal impact. And what would it have done to the defense forces? It would have weakened it, right? So clearly living would not be a right word. Invigorating would mean energized it, not weakened it. So no. Hollowing out, yes, weakening it. I can take of this. Weaning means getting out of a habit. So no. So yes, the correct answer should be hollowing out. Absolutely perfect. You could have had debilitating. Weakening. You could have taken enervating. Okay, any of these words could have worked very well for this blank. Of course, we just had hollowing out, so that was the correct answer. So these are three synonyms for hollowing out or weakening. So debilitating, weakening and enervating. All right, guys, let's get your scores in. Like I said, 12 noon, word power series at, these are all special classes. 8 p.m. exams and colleges, and 10 p.m. this is a special class, this is a special class, and 10 p.m. is the open house. I haven't sent out the link for the open house. I will send it later. So 10 p.m. we will have an open house, and that will be based on Snap. So do join me for this lovely session that I will be having for you guys. All right, scores आने लगे. Aman 3, Anjali 2, Shubham 3, Sharanya 3, Dishani 3, Shruti 4, Archit 3, Satun 4. Very good guys. All right, guys, remember use CAT live to subscribe to Unacademy. Remember to hit like, share and subscribe. ये हमारे लिए life है. Hit the bell icon. That's essential. अच्छा गाइज, एक और बात बता देती हूँ, जितने भी लोग टेलीग्राम पे कनेक्टेड नहीं है, प्लीज यूज AbhiCat. Find me on Telegram using AbhiCat and join my Telegram channel also. That's life and death. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining in. I hope today's session was as welcome for you as it was for me. So welcome back, everybody. Let's get this show on the road and let's not miss out on any days further. Thank you. Have a nice day. Remember 12 बजे, फिर 5 बजे प्लस क्लास है, फिर 8 बजे एक और स्पेशल क्लास है और 10 बजे हमारा ओपन हाउस होगा. See you guys. Take care.